The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
You are listening to the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 beer with a sports talk and a whole lot more. We are part of the Belly Up Sports Network. Listen in as Brent and Dave invite you to belly up to the bar with them to talk about everything in the world of sports, just like you would do at your favorite watering hole. It's sports, beer, and shenanigans. So belly up to the bar with us, grab a beverage, and let's get into it.
The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 beer with sports talking a whole lot more. Tonight's show, as always, is brought to you by SeatGeek.com. The SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com today and save yourself $20 on your first purchase over there at SeatGeek. Remember, we are part of the Belly Up Media Network. Go to bellyupsports.com for all their great sports articles, other great podcasts, such as Ryan over there at No Credentials Required. And my favorite guys, didn't get to watch them tonight. No, they're on tomorrow night. They postponed their show till Wednesday night, so maybe I'll tune in to the guys over at Craft Brewed Sports. Thank you very much, everybody who listens to our show on a daily basis. A little bit of a hiatus. Baseball and stuff got in the way. Happens once in a while. Not very often here at 1420 World Headquarters. The reason why I'm laughing a little bit here for those listening in the podcast form and not watching up on YouTube, which I'll get this up there tomorrow morning. But since we started this show, actually I think it was show number 5 or 6 that Dave joined me on. He was just a constant contributor at that point. Now then he became the co-host after it was all said and done. But he said he divorced the Oilers. And right now, because the Edmonton Oilers won in Game 7 against the Vancouver Canucks, apparently the divorce is over because Dave Van Robes is sporting a circa, I don't know, about 97, 98 Edmonton Oilers jersey tonight for the 1420 podcast. How you doing tonight, Dave?
I'm doing great. You know, I that was a quick wardrobe change. I felt like I was backstage at a Broadway play having to get out there right away because when you play that little music, the camera goes off. So I had
about 10 seconds,
Yeah, I had to be quick, and it was on the ready. And I thought I'd surprise you with it. The divorce, we're still divorced. There's a story behind this. Since we had to take a bit of break, we were busy and couldn't record last week on the Friday, on the Thursday. Since we recorded last, a good friend of mine passed away. He was best man at my wedding. I was best man at his wedding, and he was one of the friends that I always went to Oilers games with, and I shared a picture with you of me and another friend, and Derek is his name, by the Gretzky statue at the old Rexall place. So in honor of my friend who left us too soon, I put on the jersey last night, and you know what? They won Game 7, and then I'm wearing it tonight. I don't know how long I'm going to be wearing it during the playoff series because I'm going to get mad, but this is more in as a memory for my friend than putting a ring back on the finger. But I'm glad the Oilers won.
No, I met Flamin on a couple of occasions and everything else. No, it's sad when we're getting that. We talked about a little bit on Thursday night. We saw each other at Smith Stadium there. It's one of those things. It's always tough. You don't know what to do. But in memoriam, the Oilers pulled one off for him and everything else. It's just one of those things. Like it's you don't know how to say anything. Which is the older we get, it kind of happens more and more. It's unfortunate. It really is.
It is, and love and thoughts to his family. He leaves behind a 17-year-old and a 13-year-old. Too young, unexpected, and I hate saying thoughts and prayers, but you know, my heart goes out to them and fond memories of our time that we did share when you were with us, Derek. So this one is for Derek, and you know, the Oilers can bandwagon on me.
There you go. It was last night. I had the baseball stuff. I'm kind of pretty busy here right now. I'm trying to straighten that schedule out, but I was watching the Oilers game last night. I got home in time to watch the game as it started. I was in the middle of a meeting, and I cut out of the meeting early to watch the end of the hockey game. And it was 3-0 for the Oilers. I thought, you know what? I'm tired. I've been up for a long time, baseballed all weekend, on and on. We'll get to that a little bit later. But I was like, it's 3-0. Me and Deanna haven't seen each other a whole bunch. So we thought, let's go lay down in bed and just relax. And then the game was over. Whatever. And then all of a sudden, my phone started exploding a little bit, like, because me and Mom, my sister, my brother, they're both out in Vancouver Island, so they're quasi Canuck fans all of a sudden, and they're like, "Holy shit, she's 3-2," and that's what's the great thing about Game 7s is that momentum switch. It doesn't happen a ton. Like a lot of times, Game 7s they end up. It's just a 5-2 game or 5-1 game that happens, but there's the odd time where it's a nail biter. And like you said off air, Dave, the Oilers, they could have been up 5-6-0 early in that game. They were flying. And it wasn't a McDavid show. Draisaitl, to me, right now, Leon Draisaitl is one of the best playoff performers I've seen in recent memory.
You'd be a fool to disagree with that. He reminds me so much of Peter Forsberg, right? Like he's the second fiddle to Joe Sakic. But when it's fucker walk time, especially on the power play in the offensive zone, like he's just such a horse. It's impossible to get the puck off him. He never makes a bad decision, and when he gets a look, he finishes. And that for Vancouver's third string goalie, holy shit, he stood on his head.
Unbelievable.
Because that could have been easily 5-0. Like if that was Skinner in Game 3, that was an 8-0 game for sure.
You bring that up, and you see that a lot in hockey where a goalie goes in, unsung hero. You think like this goes back a long ways. Back in '86 with the Montreal Canadiens when they got a rookie Patrick Roy in that, like, who the fuck is this guy? And stop after stop after stop. And then I remember I think it was what year was it? 89 or 90 when Blaine Locker was in net for the Bruins, and they couldn't, no one could get anything by him. And on it goes. And it was that Jim Carey, and then there was another guy
for Washington.
There's these goalies who come out of nowhere and get their first or second start in the playoffs, and they end up going. And I was starting to worry last night for the Oilers. I was more so cheering for the Oilers to win that game last night, just for the Alberta thing and to keep things going a little bit out here. But and for McDavid a little bit too. We'll get to that in half a second. But it's you start to think like this guy is going to stop everything in that comes anywhere near him, and Skinner's going to let in a bad one. Because we're not Skinner apologists here in the 1420 podcast. I thought for sure that's what we were going to see last night, was that Edmonton was going to get goalied, and they almost did.
For sure it was, because at one point, like after the first period, I want to say shots were like 16-4.
Mm-hmm.
It was even in the third period. I don't think Vancouver got their 10th shot on net until late second, early third period. It was such a dominant performance. Vancouver could not match their intensity, but the same thing. When you're throwing everything in the kitchen sink and the goalie is just having a night, all it takes is one, and then now all of a sudden the air's out of the tires, and now sticks are getting gripped a little bit tighter, and now you're trying to put, instead of just putting it on net, you want to make that perfect shot. It happens all the time, and we see it. But the Oilers maintain that pressure. Like Vancouver didn't even deserve to be on the same ice, except for Showman.
The showman.
We'll call him the showman. The showman kept him in that game, and thank God the Oilers got that insurance marker in the third, because Vancouver played 10 minutes of desperation hockey, and it was almost enough to send that game into overtime.
Before the game started, me and Deanna were talking about home ice advantage in Game 7, and I was like, you know what, I don't know how much that, like, I don't know the stats to it. It could be 70% the home team wins. I have no idea. But the thing is with a Game 7 for the road team is that first 5 minutes. Survive that first 5, and you give yourself a chance. And Skinner made 2 saves that were actually may have been game changers early in that game. That, like, you know what? If all of a sudden you score, it's 1-0, the crowd goes fucking crazy in Vancouver, because they're a boisterous crowd there, and it could have been absolute mayhem, because Vancouver came out flying, as home teams do in Game 7s every time. We always see it. And Skinner made a couple of saves that may have saved the Oilers season, unbeknownst to anybody at that time.
Yeah, and I understand that point. And then, but after that first flurry, it was nothing. The ice was tilted, and I think that's, back in the day, not my university team, my rep team when I was 17, 18 years old, our goalie wasn't very good in soccer. And
what's his name? What was his name?
I'm not gonna call him out because he's a good guy. And then so Jesus DeMarno. Yeah. It was always sketchy, and when you have that guy standing behind you, especially I was a fullback, you do everything you can. You get a foot, you get a finger, you get anything. Well, obviously not a finger. You dive at the ball. You do not let anything get to the net, and then that's how the Oilers played. I haven't seen players block shots that aren't normally shot blocking players do their job. Even Draisaitl's taking one off the ankle and everything like that. McDavid's turning his skates to block these shots. They didn't want anything getting to the net, and that's kind of how they did it. That's why Vancouver had so few shots on net, and until it was whatever the colloquialism is, like you backed an animal into the corner. And then that's when Vancouver started swinging. With 10 minutes left, it was just too little, too late, because they really brought the heat that last 10 minutes.
No, it's Game 7s are fantastic, and I quite like when the game was over and the Oilers won. It was more of a the Canucks overachieved early. They started off gangbusters, and the Oilers, as we know, they got their coach fired early in the season, lost their first 8, doing 0-8-2 or whatever it was. Coach got canned, and then the Canucks they got off the ground. They hit the ground running, and Tocchet had that team running. I think more so out of fear than anything else. So we Tocchet because he was such a gritty player. I think that both teams. Obviously, Vancouver wanted to win. There's let's not kid ourselves. But I think Vancouver could be like, you know what? We're pretty fucking good, and we're a year away. But you know what? It's not going to be a long year. Like, we're close. Like, and every team is close. Every team thinks they're close, but they're close. And they took an Oilers team that's supposed to win things. And that's the thing. Edmonton preseason, with you got McDavid on your team, and you got Draisaitl on your team, and they went on and got Hyman, and on it goes. They're supposed to win. Nobody was picking Vancouver to do anything. And I think the Vancouver fans, when the game was over, they were quite appreciative. They're like, you know what? It sucks we lost, but you know what? We aren't far away. We have something to look forward to next year. We're in years past. Vancouver Canuck fans, I wish I had a chance to listen to Vancouver radio today, but I think the Vancouver Canuck fans would be like, you know what? This season was a kind of a success for once.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I was so impressed with Vancouver Canuck fan yesterday. Yeah. They gave the team a standing O off the ice, and they were chanting Shiloh's the showman's name. Yeah. They were chanting they lost, but the effort that they left, that last 10 minutes left the crowd with like, Jesus, we were close. We are close. And even though I think with B+ goalie, Edmonton would have swept that series, but they didn't. Vancouver showed up at the last 10 minutes of the third period, gave the fans hope. They were without Brock Boeser,
that's a game changer. I'm glad you brought that up. That's a fucking game changer. Boeser's a goal a game guy.
Well, yeah, and he's an emotional leader, right? Yeah. Boeser's the one that
Boeser plays last night. Vancouver wins.
I can't disagree with that, because he's such an impactful player, and he brings the emotional energy that teams need in games such as that. He's just a leader that does smart things, and no one's going to outwork him. And he's a difference maker, because he's the one that scored the hat trick with 5 minutes left against Nashville. No, wasn't it Boeser? Yeah. And then so
He
when
scored
when
4
Vancouver,
on opening night against the Oilers
yeah,
back in
there's
October. He had 7 goals in 3 games.
he's an oil killer, yeah.
Yeah.
And he wasn't there for him, and that which sucks, but such is hockey. Like that's what happens. And Vancouver is like, yeah, like it's now you got to build upon it, right? And I think Tocchet's a smart enough coach where he's not going to let people like, we had a hell of a year last year, but you know what we accomplished? Jack shit.
Nothing.
This is not the ultimate goal. We took a step towards the ultimate goal. We got we're not going to be wet behind the ears anymore. We're not going to be surprised anymore. We're not going to sneak up on people anymore. But now we're going to lead from the front. This is, you guys know what it takes. We're going to have an all-world goalie in Thatcher Demko, hopefully healthy for the playoffs. But Demko wouldn't have won that game last night either. Like the Oilers were just relentless for 40 minutes.
The thing I like about that Vancouver team, the way they finished off last night, and you get past after the game, who cares? Whatever, they lost. What I think that the Canucks have going for them is they have a coach in Rick Tocchet who's been around forever. He played in that 86, 87 Flyers team, the 87 Canada Cup team. He's been through the wars. That man don't give a fuck what people think about him. He don't give a shit. He's like, if you don't like me, I don't care. And I think he has ownership and the management group in Vancouver believing in what he says, because I think Tocchet's the kind of guy is like, you called me, I didn't call you. So right. we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it my way. It's gonna be my way, or I'm not gonna be there. I'm going to. If players don't like me, they can fuck off. If this guy don't like me, they can fuck off, or else I ain't coming. And I think that's one thing that Vancouver has going for them, because Vancouver for years been known for some prima donnas and everything else, and a little bit soft. Whereas right now they have a guy with Rick Tocchet. They don't build it much tougher than Tocchet in our lifetime. Like, I don't know if he would survive. Well, he would have. He's a generation. Like, he's one of those guys from generation to generation to generation. He would have been able to play. Not the most skilled guy, but if you stab me in the eye, I'll take your liver out. One of those.
Oh no, but he was Wendell Clark with more skill.
With more skill. And on it goes. And he's like, you called me, I didn't call you. So if you don't like the way I run things, well, fuck off. And I think that the Vancouver fan base has bought into Tocchet. I think the ownership group, the management group, and most of the players have bought into that. The one guy that's kind of a bit of a didn't really buy in, too many fucking Swedes, Elias Pettersson. Like, if he has even an average series with a couple of points here and there, he took a stick in the face last night and persevered and got through it. But if he has an average series, goal here, goal there, the Oilers are probably almost on the outside looking in, and they're going to give him $12 million a year.
Well, they just re-signed him, right? Because he is so highly skilled, but it's kind of maybe one of these Johnny Gaudreau things, like the playoffs is fun and sexy and everything, but it's a lot fucking harder to get my points. I don't have as many good looks in the playoffs as I do. I'm going to have to do more work. I'm not
playing Columbus and Anaheim and whoever on a fucking Tuesday night.
You might get a freebie a series, not a freebie a game. And then when you do have your head down, when you do bobble the puck one time, and you look down, and all of a sudden you got a shoulder in your face, and that's not fun either. And so maybe just the intensity of the game was too much for him. I don't know. I guess it wasn't his first. Like, they had a decent run in the COVID year, but still, like, this is his first taste of big time hockey, and
he was great in the bubble.
Yeah, and he wasn't ready for it here. He wasn't near ready for it.
Before the game started, Deanne was a bit torn. The old the Greek goddess, she was a bit torn on who she was cheering for. She didn't want to see, because it's too bad that like Canadian teams, they go the wayside, whatever it is. Doesn't much matter. But it's too bad that 2 Canadian teams were playing in the second round, so we don't get that next round little sexiness for Canadian fans. And she was really torn on who she wanted to win, because Vancouver's never won one. But she also, and that's why I'm asking you, because you're divorcee of the Oilers, but you don't have ill will towards your ex. It was just time to move along. It was just time to move along, right?
Yes.
And I don't like if you guys had kids together, then you we want to make sure our kids are fine and it's good. We're not going to
say the cups that they won when we were still together. Yep,
that's right.
But yeah,
so Deanne's biggest thing with the Oilers was she wants to see McDavid win a cup, and this is I'm paraphrasing here. She says he deserves one, and I looked at her like she had 4 eyes or 6 eyes in her head, and there was fucking goiter growing out of her shoulder. I don't think anybody deserves a Stanley Cup. You have to earn it. McDavid is the best player to ever play the game, but I don't think he deserves fuck all. So I'm asking what your thought is if you were sitting at Brown's Social House on a Sunday night before the hockey game like we were last night, having a beverage before we came to a pre-gamer. And when she said McDavid deserves one because of how good he is, if you deserve it, you'd already have one.
And that's
no, like I may have worded that wrong, but I think you know what I'm saying.
Oh no, and that's sport, right? Like no one deserves it. It'd be nice to see it, but like deserving that, the sport is such a fickle thing, right? Like we talk about, like I bring him up all the time, a Big Shot Bob, right? I think he has 7 or 8 rings with 3 or 4 different teams.
Robbie Horry,
yeah, he did so well, and he has it. But then does he deserve one more than Steve Nash? Does he Steve Nash, does he deserve one more than was it like Karl Malone, Patrick Ewing? Does he deserve one more than those? The Worm, Rodman has 2 or 3 with the Pistons and 2 and 3 with the Bulls.
Sure, yeah.
Does he deserve one? Does he deserve all those rings? It's not about deserving. Tony Gwynn, he deserves one. One of the most feared. I won't say feared. One of the best hitters to ever play the game. You hear
he's the greatest hitter other than Ted Williams ever played the game. The greatest hitter in our lifetime is Tony Gwynn.
And Ted Williams doesn't have one. The greatest hitter of all time.
He played in fucking
Boston, but that's just what happens. And Dan Marino, like. No one deserves anything. The sporting gods are going to decide who gets one and who doesn't. And there's some bad people that have rings and multiple names on the cup. And, it's not about deserving. It's just about Hall of Fame, like Henrik Lundqvist. Does he deserve one? He's a better goalie than...
I don't think anyone deserves one. I mean, they're toppers to careers.
Yeah.
Right, like if you look at a guy like Yzerman, actually, you know what? Let's change the pace.
Jerome McGinley.
Let's change the pace here. Steve Yzerman was racking up points in Detroit for years, 100-point season, the old Norris division, on and on it goes. Numbers were great. Yzerman's a great player. I'm not besmirching him at all, like one bit.
A deserved Hall of Famer.
They didn't start winning cups till he took kind of a back seat, played more of a defensive role in a Scotty Bowman system. The way he transformed or transformed his career, maybe a guy like Yzerman deserved a cup because of how he transformed the way he played. He could have said, you know what? Fuck you, Scotty. I get 100 points a year. I run this fucking town. I run this fucking team. Kiss my ass. Maybe. And then what? This obviously, hypothetically speaking, he did. But it's good. Yeah. It's just a thought process. Like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm Steve Yzerman. Who the fuck are you?
Yeah. I get it. Like, so just by that logic. So
did he deserve one for transforming the way he played? Maybe.
Perhaps. And he was even though he didn't win one when he was putting up all those points, the team leadership and doing what was necessary to have his team become successful that's what got him the cup, but it doesn't make him any more deserving because there's players on every team. I won't say every team on every team that wins. There's players that are doing things maybe a little bit outside their comfort zone to make the sacrifices to make your team better, to have them win a cup, right? Like deserve is it's like no one deserves it. But it'd be nice to see people win it. Did Ray Bourque deserve a cup?
No, fuck him. No.
Right. Like,
I hate that sellout fucking traded to a team thing, give him a cup. And you know what pissed me off even more about that Ray Bourque thing? And I'm not a Ray Bourque hater. I could care less.
Deserved Hall of Famer again.
But the way Sakic gave him the Stanley Cup right off the bat, like usually you give it to the most deserving guy, like the unsung hero, whatever it might be. But the way Sakic gave the cup to Bourque, like, fuck off. You've been here for a week. Fuck off. I hated that. Like that bothered me a lot. I just like, dude, like, right on, you're Ray Bourque. Like you had to leave it the team you were there for. You're the king of Boston. You didn't do fuck all.
Well, I think we can go back to those.
But you know what I mean. Like he was a contributor, and it wasn't like he was on his last leg, And those Red Wing teams that Yzerman was captain for, when they started rattling off all those cups, you had so Brett Hall has two. Did he deserve one with the Red Wings? Did Mike Modano deserve one? Did Luc Robitaille deserve one? You know. You don't, and that's why I have a bit of a tough time with Detroit being the dynasty of the late '90s, early 2000s. Is that fucking what's his name? GM for the
Ken Holland,
Kenny Holland. He had players calling him to go there, and an unlimited Little Caesars coupons to fucking pay for it.
With no salary cap. Ken Holland's. Yeah, anyone that wants to say Ken Hall, like, sure, put him in the Hall of Fame for all those fucking cups. But they lucked into draft picks with Zetterberg, Lidstrom, and that Swede, Holmgren. Is that him who I'm thinking about?
You're thinking of the other one.
No. I'm thinking of another. Zetterberg.
Well, you said
Zetterberg, Datsuk, and Lidstrom. Yeah, all late round draft picks.
I think Datsuk's Russian. Isn't he?
No, he is. Yeah, so 2 Swedes and a Russian. Locked into those
2
things.
Turntables on a microphone.
Yeah, so they all fucking Hall of Famers, and then no salary cap, so you can bring in Hasek, you could bring in Mike Vernon, you could bring in Luc Robitaille.
Hall of Famer Mike Vernon, according to Kent Hare.
Well, according to
the other voters too. Yeah, it's not just Kent.
The voters. Yeah, it's not just Kent, right?
The only people who thinks anti Mike Vernon Hall of Fame is me, you.
Well, yeah, at least Ken Hare is the president of the Mike Vernon fan club. It's not Mike Vernon. So.
Card-carrying member.
So it was a different time. Like, I get it might not be easy to keep the band all together and keep the egos and keep everybody playing, but it was a different time of managing a hockey team, because I still believe the Oilers are a flawed team. We're going to find out pretty fucking quick.
They're in for a rude awakening when they face the Dallas Stars.
After watching what Colorado did to the Winnipeg Jets in round 1, I didn't think anybody short of a flood was going to stop Colorado.
Short of the Russian Red Army from 1972 or 76 was going to beat the fucking Colorado Avalanche.
And it's not like
Dallas went like, fuck off.
Yeah, it's not like they made it look easy, but they didn't make it look hard either. Like, it was, they took care of business. They got a deep team, 3 full lines with an all-world goalie when he's right. So
Ottinger,
we're gonna find out. But I'm glad the Oilers beat Vancouver. That was an entertaining thing. Goaltending is going to be a huge thing going forward. And we're going to find out if McDavid deserves a cup or not, because they're only half. That's the thing. They're only halfway there.
Living on a prayer.
8 more games to win.
We talked about 2 weeks ago or whatever when the playoffs first started. Like, to win the Super Bowl, you got to win 4. To win a Stanley Cup, you got to win 16. We're halfway there, and it's only getting harder because now you got injuries and this and on and on and on. Like, just the ticket and I know this is like semantics and a little bit different, but I want to get your thought on this, Dave. Would it be in a team's best interest for players to live in a hotel when they're at home?
For sure.
Like, okay, sure. And wives have to be understanding. They are understanding throughout the season, but they fucking American Express fucking platinum cards, so they're fine. But would it be in the team's best interest, or especially in NHL, where the playoffs drag on? But you know what? We might only get one chance to pull this off. We might get one chance where all our free agents lined up. We have a good rookie here. We have this going here. Our goalie's kind of hot, all blah, blah. I don't need my best player, and this is going to sound a little, but I don't know what I'm looking for. It's going to sound a little sexist, I guess. I don't need my best player taking his kid to school on a Tuesday morning. I don't need my best player worrying about fucking taking out the garbage. And like, I'm not saying that the wife has to do that. I'm not saying that at all. But if I'm paying this guy $12 million and we've set up the entire system, the entire thing that we've been doing to try to get things right. We have one chance, maybe 2, with the way free agencies and rookies and on it goes. If all the stars are aligning, I don't need my best player worrying about fucking household chores.
Here's what
for 2 months.
You can't. It can't be black and white.
You know what I mean?
No, I totally know what you mean, but like it can't be black and white. No, everybody's sequestered in a hotel, because every player you have to look at as like, what fills this guy's bucket. You know, if you are a family man, if you're 30 with 2 kids and you love it, you can't wait to get home and see your kids, and you know, and the fact that you're with your family and your wife, and you're happy to take the kids to
school.
It might be
your zen home. It might be your zen place.
You bet. I'm doing this. I'm making the sacrifices for this, for my wife, for my kids. I want them so bad to see their father lift the Stanley Cup over the head. And just that reminder, and like you say, it's so intense and so brutal on the ice to come home to fill your bucket with emotional energy, right? And just find your peace, because that's what it's all about. With the intensity, the players that do best are the ones that don't hear the crowd, that the game slows down.
Yeah.
And if you're hockey 24/7 for, like you say, 90 days, it might get a little much, and you just need that emotional break. And the emotional break, you got to find what gives you joy, find what gives you peace. Maybe the young guys, right? You guys go fucking. You guys are in the hotel and you're on curfew, maybe, even though because.
Now they play video games instead of going to fucking Barry T's on a Saturday night, but whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So
I don't know why I pulled that one on Barry T's. Oh,
Barry T's. Yeah, it's yeah.
Denny Andrews American Bar where the good times roll.
Yeah, was Barry T's was that old rail station one, wasn't it?
In Edmonton, yeah, on Calgary Trail South.
Yeah.
So I had a time or 2 in Barry T's.
Yeah, and then or just rocking White Ave, going from wherever to wherever. I had some times on White Ave back in the day too. But so, that's what it honestly is. It's whatever fills your bucket, and I can see players just wanting to get away and just relax and chill in their happy place. And I would hope that there's a lot of players that do have that happy place at their home. There might be some players too, like it's just like, no, his girlfriend's fucking crazy. Let's give her.
Do you think that happens? Like, let's just call a player Jake Winters. Jake Winters plays for the Dallas Stars. Hell of a player. Point per game guy. Having himself a great playoff. They're going to the 3rd round. He's a point per game guy. He scored 3 game winners already. We're facing the Oilers. Do you think there's a captain that might walk? I don't know who I think it's Jim Nill in Dallas is the GM. Do you think there's a player that walks in and says, "Hey, coach, GM, Jim, or whoever the fuck, hey, like we're close here. Like we have a chance to win one. I'm getting a little older. We're team captain. He walks in. I'm getting a little older. We have a chance to win this thing. But fuck, Jake's girlfriend, she's fucking nuts. He can't stay at his fucking house. He can't stay at his condo. He ain't getting any sleep because she's an Instagram star. And before you know it, she's going to be taking fucking selfies at 3 a.m. for whatever. Can we please make sure he's staying away from her? He loves her. It's none of my business. But for this next 2 weeks, it is my business.
She's a distraction.
She's a distraction for you keeping your job long term and me winning my first Stanley Cup. Can you please tell Jake that you're going to put him up in the Marriott or whatever? Like just for a couple of weeks, avoid distractions. Bring his mom in to cook him dinner, something along those lines, where Jake's not sitting there with fucking Mariana because she's fucking crazy. Like no, she's like. And then the GM goes, come on, she can't be. No, like Tex is fucking crazy. Like she's fucking crazy.
I'll bring my wife in, and she'll tell you, she'll talk for 5 minutes of the shit coming out her mouth, like in the wives players lounge, in the players wives lounge before the games, of what she's gonna do in the summer and what things like, and pictures she's posting and this and she's doing, and she's pissed at him because he hasn't bought her a ring yet, and she's mad at this, and like. And she's like, if we win the Stanley Cup, he's going to get me a ring and all that kind of fucking stuff.
Like
and
Jake's already got 14 fucking points. We're going to the 3rd round. And she's fucking, she might be the end all and beat all fucking for our playoff hopes right now. Can we, please, you think that ever happens?
Well, for sure.
It has to.
It has to, like, because I'm telling you this, you get done the game and you don't fall asleep till 2, 3 in the morning. I get it. But then I go through his room at 3 o'clock, because he's on the FaceTime with her and she's going on about something. This is like bedtime, boys. Give me the fucking phones.
Yeah.
We got to take care of the team right now. And this is not good for the team.
Yeah, I think that happens more often than we might know. I mean, that's one thing. Like you see a lot of times. It's been happening. Maybe it's just more so because it's more media coverage, more cameras, and everything. But you see a lot of. I remember who was that goaltender for the Capitals when they won from Lloydminster.
I'll get it, but I know exactly who you're talking about.
His mom was there. Like his mom was traveling around the entire time. See, that it might happen more often than we ever thought of, because sometimes you gotta get grounded a little bit. And go, okay, I need. This might sound dummy. I need my mommy. I need my mommy. Like this is big. Like I'm like some of these guys are 22, 23, 24 years old, and I always had this rule like work construction. When you're under the age of 24, you're not allowed to talk because you're going to say something stupid, and because you're stupid. You have no life skills, and these guys live in such a sheltered.
Well, they had a billet on. They lived with their parents, and they had a billet on the road.
And it goes.
And then they had
all of a sudden, like now, I have the entire hockey world looking at me. Oh fuck! What do I do? Not that mom has any answers for you, or dad has any answers. They didn't live it, but it might be something as simple as like, I just need to sit and have breakfast with my mom because she knows that I like my eggs this way, and this is on I think that kind of gets lost in the translation when it comes to Stanley Cup playoffs. It's so long and it's hard to do, and you got to win 16 games. Like,
but it's more intense. Like it's
intense.
So
like sometimes you just need a bit of a
hug from your mom.
I just need a hug from my mom. Like this is fucking hard.
And we're not saying bring mom in to do
the
all
dressing room to fucking have
and stuff like that.
To cut oranges for the team, but just to have a calming influence around you.
Put her in the hotel room, and if he's a bachelor, she can stay there. Whatever arrangement is going to work best. But like what I said, like whatever's going to fill your bucket. and give you that time to de-stress, because, you know, like we say all the time, you can't be playing with this kind of intensity through 82 games. And now you're doing it for, you know, maybe 28, but like for sure 20 games you're going to be playing if you're going to win the Stanley Cup. And it's a pressure cooker, and you're going to need to let off steam, and you can't go let off steam like they did in the old days back down on White Ave, right? You gotta take care of things.
You got a part-time job back then. Yeah, it's not like that anymore.
Yeah, there might be a back room, but like, you know, it's not out in public, and then just where you can just be and find some zen, because Christ, you
get one shot.
Yeah, it might be your only shot, right? Because
McDavid hasn't even had a shot yet.
No,
right?
This is as far as they've gone. They've never gone past this level, this round, right?
They've been to the third round before. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, they've been to the third round, but they haven't played for the Stanley
level,
Cup.
He's the best to ever play the game, and he hasn't had a shot yet. And so you just like, fuck, man. I can't imagine the psychological of it all. I couldn't imagine. I wasn't psychologically strong between the years. There's no way. Like, just fucking the moments were all. It's just the moments are so big, and like you watched last night before the game started, and the U2 was playing and everything else. The Oilers went on the ice. I couldn't imagine the heart rate, like, and how you get that. They're taught differently now. They go through coaches and their mind. Excuse me, like the mind coaches, and on it goes. I couldn't imagine the range of emotions that when you wake up on a Sunday morning or Monday morning, on May long weekend in Vancouver, BC, and all of a sudden there's going to be 18,000 screaming fans in this building, 3 million people watching across the country, or more, probably more than that, obviously, and on it goes, and you're like, it could be over tonight.
And the majority of those guys on the ice are between the age of 28 and 23, right?
Yeah.
And it's just, and you're a very young man. Yeah.
Just nothing. No. Because they showed Kelly Rudy's 1 Game 7. I don't know if you saw that. It was in 1987 when he was playing for the Islanders, and it was the Bob May, the 4-5 overtime win.
I was working at Buffalo Bills, like, so I watched that whole game, not like sitting in a seat, but it was going on.
4-5 overtime wins on a Sunday night of May long weekend when Pat LaFontaine spun around and scored on Bob Mason, left-handed goaltender for the Washington Capitals. And Mason's like, and how tired those boys must have been. You know, probably smoking darts between periods. You know,
oh man,
and that was Rudy's 1 Game 7, and Craig Simpson was talking about the Game 7s he's played in, and just oh man, I think it's great, and that's what makes sports great to me. Like, just when you have guys talking about how they got to that point and everything else, and those are games to remember, right? Like, that you forever, like, even if you don't win a cup, you're like, oh, remember that Game 7, drinking beers with your buddies, fucking 25 years later, like those kind of things, right? So, no, it was a fun game to watch, and there's 2 more rounds to go. Dave, we've been doing this for we got to get the last Monday, not on Thursday. And today's Tuesday, obviously, but who do you got Stanley Cup champion? The predictions have changed a little bit, but who you got going? And we got Edmonton, Dallas, the Rangers in Florida. First off, who do you want and who do you think?
I want the Rangers and Oilers. I think that would be a hell of a series. I think actually Batman would be really happy with that, having an original 6 and New York obviously being there. And then a historic franchise. I get it. They're not an original 6, but a lot of Americans know the Oilers for the Gretzky and Messier years and how dominant they were back in the day. So I think that would make for the best viewing and the best TV. I can't stand Florida and I can't stand Dallas. I do think Dallas
hate goes back to Darian Hatcher.
Darian Hatcher and Eddie Belfour.
Kevin Hatcher too, actually, yeah.
Oh yeah, and
you didn't like Eddie Belfour?
No, I never liked. I thought he was a buffoon.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't like him in Chicago. I didn't like him in Toronto, and I definitely didn't like him in Dallas.
I thought everybody liked Eddie Belfour.
No, Eddie the Eagle was a buffoon. Because you remember he got in a fight with a cabbie and offered him $1 billion.
No, it was a cop.
Oh, was it a cop? I knew he tried.
A cop $1 billion.
Just let's make.
I think that check would have bounced.
I'm fairly certain because I don't unless
he's done pretty good for himself. He's probably got 30, 40 sheets in the bank. The bill might have been a bit of a lofty goal,
a little bit much,
a lofty promise.
I also remember too. They were the Olympics. I don't know if it was Salt Lake. I think it was when he was a goalie on that team, but never got any time.
Never.
But he still got his. He broke his medal when it was handed to him, like the pendant fell off the lanyard. Yeah, he was probably 18 deep at that point. Yeah, he probably was taking it off so he could put it in a fucking vending machine or something like that.
I needed a bag of all dressed Doritos.
Stupid shit.
Hey, Sakic, you got any change? No? See if this fucking thing works. And try to jam it in the fucking Eddie.
If I gambled, I would pick Dallas to win, but and they haven't played a game yet. And I really don't know. The Rangers have had to work a little bit harder than Florida.
Yeah.
So then maybe the fact that Carolina came back, because Carolina's a damn good team too. So I'm gonna. Yeah, I just so don't like it. I'm gonna say New York. I'm gonna go with the heart, then I'm gonna say Rangers, Oilers on both accounts. I want the Rangers, Oilers, and I do too. The Oilers, Rangers too.
The Rangers always have a tie over the years. All the say their ties, all the trades happened. The Messi thing back in '94 and on it goes. I would love to see that great big city versus little town, little Alberta. Like there's more in Manhattan there are in fucking Alberta.
Oh yeah, like literally Hicks against the big city boys, and it would be
one to watch for sure.
I agree.
I agree. If you, Dave, 24-year-old Dave, would you request a hotel room, or do you want to be at home?
And like my hometown is in Lethbridge, like you're talking about.
Yeah, if you're an Oiler playing Edmonton, are you saying, you know what? I don't mind the hotel.
I might get, and I'm obviously single. Yeah, I might do it just so I don't have to do shit. Get a nice suite, put my shit out for laundry, and then have a suite, and then like have this chef, and like with some other stuff that I can cook to myself. I want creature comforts without having to open mail. I got a business manager for that, or mow the lawn, or maybe I like mowing the lawn. I might want to go and mow the lawn.
My players are not mowing lawns. Not a chance. Fucking 24-year-old kid cut his fucking toe off. Hey, why is the lawnmower ripped, finger gone?
I've been mowing lawns for 44 years, and I haven't.
Lawns.
I've been trimming bushes for 44 years, and I still haven't.
What that actually meant over the years, but whatever it is. The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. For Beer Sports, talking a whole lot more. This segment was brought to you by SeatGeek.com, the SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420POD at SeatGeek.com today and save yourself $20 on your first purchase over there at SeatGeek. Mowing lawns, breaking hearts.
Save that $20. These tickets are going fast for the Staples, not Staples Center, at Rogers Place in Edmonton.
Yeah, $8 billion later.
Yeah. Free parking.
$20 probably.
No, but you might get one. Might get a soft drink and a side of pierogies.
Cider Rogues. Cider Rogues.
As long as they're plain, yeah. No bacon or sour cream sides because that'll pop you over. That's what it's
just Chimo Rogues.
Just Chimo Rogues. So it'd be cheddar bacon or sour cream.
There it is. 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. For Sports talking a whole lot more.
Righteous Felon Craft Jerky is the official jerky of Belly Up Sports. For over a decade, Righteous Felon Craft Jerky has led the American meat snack revolution by concocting delicious, adventurous, U.S.-sourced jerky recipes for uncompromising carnivores across the country. With 15 different flavors to choose from, Righteous Felon has all jerky lovers covered, and by using promo code BELLYUP, you will get 15% off your purchase at righteousfelon.com. Do your taste buds a favor today and rip into a bag of Righteous Felon jerky.
The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, for Beer Sports, talking a whole lot more. This segment is brought to you by righteousfelon.com and Righteous Felon Jerky. Use promo code BELLYUP at checkout for 15% off. The best in craft jerky in the land over there at Righteous Felon. Dave's a connoisseur of the Righteous Felon jerky.
I would hardly call it a connoisseur. I snowed through a sampler pack. My good wife and I are not this weekend, the weekend next. I am going to be a little bit more choosy on the flavors because there was some I enjoyed more. And then I would highly encourage you to get in your order too, Brent. You got 13 days to get it in. Wow. You got 8 days. Get it in by Sunday, and then I'll be able to bring it home next weekend for you.
Dave, I'm swimming. I'm paddling right now. I'm not even swimming right now. There's a lot going on. But anyways,
5 minutes. They got a great website. You can just click.
I need an assistant.
I'll make some calls. Get Lurleen.
I wouldn't get her to assist to tie my shoes. But anyways, Dave, it seems like the flavor of the week the last number of years outside of professional stadiums is during the playoffs especially is like the Jurassic Parks of the Raptors in 2019. The Oilers have the Moss Pit. The Leafs had the Maple Leaf Square, they call it. The Canucks have one. The NFL has all kinds of different things going on. We had Mike Davis on the show after a Super Bowl thing. There's always these outdoor events prior to games that are happening. As I get a little bit older and not wanting to be, it's not that I don't want to be around people. I'm not a big crowd guy anymore. And the festival, like I'll go in early, but I'm not staying for a long duration of time. Like if I have tickets to the game, I'll go for a couple of beers, have some laughs, listen to tunes, laugh at the younger people, then go into the game. I cannot see myself standing outside watching a hockey game or a baseball game or a football game or a basketball game. I cannot see myself, 49 years old, turning 50 in August. I cannot see myself for 1 second doing that kind of a thing where I'm outside. I just can't. I can't on the big screens and kids and things and stuff. Not a chance.
Waiting in line. Like it's just, it must be just the old man. It's like these watching parties that I see and I don't see it very much. Well, I guess I don't watch NBA, so I don't know if they do it in the NBA for the people that can't get into the barn for one reason or another. But there's a laundry list of fucking things I'd rather do than hang out with people that just want to be in the crowd more than watch the game. Like, if I'm going to rank it, like, obviously it's for sure. So let's be in the building. And if I can't be in the building, I wouldn't mind being in a bar. And if I'm not in a bar, I wouldn't mind watching it at a buddy's house. And if I can't do it at a buddy's house, I would watch it in my house. And if I can't do any of those things, I would watch in my fucking car on my phone before I drag my fucking ragged ass into the Moss Pit at Edmonton and put up with the shenanigans of those fucking people that just want to Instagram and tell people how cool they are by hanging out.
And you said it best there. I'm glad you brought the way you worded it. They want to be part of a crowd, not watching the game. Because nothing draws a crowd like a crowd. Like most people who go to games, they want to be part of something, whatever. They don't care. But when it comes to playoffs, I was watching like the average age at the old Moss Pit, and then Jurassic Park in Toronto, sorry, and then at the Maple Leaf Square in Toronto. You look at the crowd, it's like, dude, you can be my kid.
They're pretty young. Yeah,
they're pretty young, and so I get it because it costs nothing to go to these events. And they have money to go get some beers and whatever else, but because getting into a game is expensive. But as a 50-year-old man, there ain't a snowball's chance in hell that I'm fucking sticking around for that. Like nothing.
I would rather listen to it on the radio, on the AM dial, in my car with a little bit of static than go to the Moss Pit.
Yeah.
I would rather a friend texted me highlights than go to the Moss Pit.
Well, that's a bit extreme.
I'd rather listen to it in Morse code than go to the Moss Pit.
Okay, what would it take to get Dave Enrobes at the age you're at to go to something like that? Like, what would it take? We've already established we like me and you wouldn't go as we sit here right now. What would it take for you to go to one of these outdoor events, outdoor viewing parties, the NFL draft, the outdoor blah, 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 whatever it might be? What would it take? Like, what would Brent Radlinski have to offer you to say, yeah, I can do it for that?
It would have to be the game. It would have to be the event. Like, so if the Denver Broncos were in the Super Bowl, the only way I could watch the game was to be at one of these outdoor events, then yes, I would do that. If I couldn't get it on my phone or whatever. Same with the Oilers. Like, for not the entire Stanley, not every game of the Stanley Cup Finals, but if they have a game where they have a chance to win, and that's the only way I could watch the game, that's what it would take. Because there's absolutely nothing that appeals to me about that when there's so many other ways you can consume a sporting event. I would way rather be, if it's a road game, like, they showed inside Rogers Place was packed as well. So without a game being played in Edmonton, they had people asses in seats packing Rogers Place, and then they had all the hooligans outside in the Moss Pit. That's a ridiculous number. So they probably had 25,000 people there to not watch live hockey, just to watch TV screens. That's pretty decent fan support, and I get that, but still, no thank you. I got a perfectly good 62-inch screen 10 feet away from me right now.
I'd go to the Moss Pit before I would go to an NFL draft party.
You know what? I don't think I would, because I think the NFL draft party might be better people watching. Because at the Moss Pit, like, we say it's everybody of same mind, same team, same fan, but there's going to be some drunk hooligans rolling around and looking for a fight. Those places always have it. Not the NFL draft party wouldn't have that, but there would be some ridiculously good people watching there. Like there'd be a lot of frat boys that stayed up all night, and now they're hanging out in their gear and just, it'd be fun to watch that kind of shit.
No, I think the Moss would be funner than an NFL draft party.
At the event, like with these 80,000 people.
No, there is nothing on God's green earth that would get me to go to that whatever the fuck was in Detroit 3 weeks ago. Nothing. Like,
see, because the way I would rather go to that draft party, because honestly, in my heart, I don't give a fuck. So I don't have to. I don't care who's on stage. The thing about that
is, Dave, it means so nothing.
That's my point. Yeah.
At least when you're in the Moss Pit or the Raptors or the Maple Leaf Square or whatever it might be, You have people cheering for a finality of something, for a common goal. Those morons who go to a fucking NFL draft party thing, what are they cheering for? Nothing.
But here's the thing. I'm going to the mosh pit because this is the only way I can watch the game. And half the population
you're amongst fans who are going to cheer for maybe a championship. These guys are cheering for some guy who might fucking get 10 yards this season.
But are they cheering for the championship? Or are they only there because there's a crowd there, or they want to get their picture in Instagram?
The crowd, it goes crowd, Instagram, team. No, Instagram.
Yes.
Okay. And there's a male and female. A girl, and I don't know, because I don't know. A girl is Instagram, crowd, team. A guy in Edmonton, Pilsners, team, Instagram, girls.
Oh, no, I think you got that wrong. I think it's team Instagram Pilsners. The kids don't drink like we did back in the day. They might have...
Okay, so is it team Instagram girls Pilsners? Team Pilsners Instagram girls.
The team is one or two girls or with girls or Instagram.
And beers for?
Yeah, I believe so. Because
we really need to have a chat with society.
Because they've eaten their edibles and stuff like that and that kind of thing. Because alcohol is too expensive now.
That's true.
Right? You gotta, like, even if you're going to the mosh pit, like, if you're gonna do anything half decent, you gotta, like, if it's free,
$100 beer.
Yeah, you gotta bring $50, and that's not what, like, you don't get your Rogies. That's just like 3 beer and your data plan if mom and dad have sprung for it.
Go to a fucking, like, the mosh pit. The ultimate meal would be a fucking, oh, this would be so good. Now I kind of want to go. If this is the 2 beer, Rogies, actually Mexican pierogies, where they have pierogies with the salsa and stuff on top. $20.
Yeah, and you get like what, a half dozen? You need
half
more.
Half does with some sour cream on top.
Yeah, like a good nacho platter size kind of thing.
Yeah. In one of those yellow French fry containers.
Yeah. I'm reading you. Yeah.
2 beers, Mexican pierogies, $20. Done. Throw a Mexi fry on top of there. Oh,
that'd be $40 right there. What you just
I'd pay 20
for 2 beers and the Rogies.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not getting that for
I know you're not, but that's what I would do. Maybe it's the same this summer here. I'll do that. But yeah, that to me, that's a deal.
That is not a bad thing. And then you can eat that and then watch your game. You got to stand to eat, which I don't. No. Yeah. Normally, I'd rather, if I'm standing to eat, I want a sandwich because you do need a utensil to take down the Rogies.
Do you like the taco in a bag?
I don't care for it. My son loves it. In fact,
I had the first one in my life on Saturday afternoon at Pitt Stadium.
It's a decent void filler.
Right.
Like, yeah, it's not terrible. It's not terrible at all. It's preferable to some ballpark burgers I've had over the years. So I just stay away from burgers. Like if I'm gonna have a sandwich, it's gonna be in the tubular fashion. Yeah. It's almost, I wish they had a better sandwich bar because I can take down a fucking ham and cheese. Yeah, you don't even have to sex up a ham and cheese. Just give me fucking ham and cheese.
I tell you what, you go to Save-On, you get that lumberjack for $14.99, the great big boy. You chop that prick into fucking 6 slices. You're good for 2 days.
Oh yeah,
fantastic.
Oh yeah, split it in $3. 3. Yeah, it's unbelievable. They have it's a deal. Like like so for those of the lumberjack, it's like a literal full French loaf, and they pile the sandwich meat on it, and with the right amount of lettuce and mustard, whatever. But it's fucking good.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan. I've been a fan of the lumberjack for a long time.
I picked up an LJ yesterday. Yeah, fuck, I love those things, man. They're
Same.
I mean, you get your own mayo on there a little bit, like a little topping. Oh yeah, mustard, just fucking beauty.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm not like, if I'm out and about and I just need something to fill the void, give me a fucking ham and cheese. That's all I need. Don't sex it up. Put ham, mustard, and cheese on there, and Davey's walking away satisfied. Like, I prefer that to a Weiner sandwich any day.
Weiner sandwich, fuck, you're a prick sometimes. Just stir the fucking proverbial pot. No, it's actually let's talk about, like, we're trying some different things at Spit Stadium this summer, and I don't know if they're going to work or not going to work. And I'm at this point where I'm out of the concession business. But you go to a game. I know you said it before. Peanuts. You run with Aaron from Brulio Sports. Bag of peanuts. What else does Dave Van Robies have sitting in the? Okay, if I gave Dave 2 tickets. I gave Dave and Kaylee, Jasper, he gets in for free regardless, whatever. Dave and Kaylee, I give you, because you like sitting in the picnic table spots up on the grassy knoll there.
On third period, third base. Yeah.
What would make Dave come back a second time and pay for tickets if I gave him a food of whatever he wanted? What is Dave having? On a Wednesday night at Spit Stadium.
See, I'm never there to eat. Like, if I have the Weiner sandwich, it's only because it's nostalgia and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't need that. I'm there to snack. So I need fresh peanuts and shell, and I want cold beer in less than 5 minutes. And that's me going up and getting it. If I have to wait in line for more than 5 minutes, I'm crabby. So I need fresh peanuts or fresh popcorn even, and then I can eat spits and stuff like that. I'm a snacky guy. I'm not a meal guy at the ballpark. I don't like eating burgers and sandwiches at the events I go to. I eat before I go, because I don't want to. I'm such a dick about the food that I purchase. If I don't like it, then my experience has now been diminished. I'm not a good enough guy. It's just like, fuck, I just paid $8 for this piece of shit. That annoys me. I don't know if it's the Dutch in me, or I'm just naturally cheap. Or
it's the Dutch in you. Yeah, just don't get it.
Yeah. And so, like, it's not like I need value, but I don't want to pay for something that's just there.
No, it's such a tricky thing we're dealing with. Like, we're trying to make things work and get a bit better here. And you're like, and what I find funny, let's get off the food and this spits, whatever, on and on it goes. We've been talking about what's been going on before I even started working at Spitz for this Bulls and everything else. And what I find funny about now that I'm part of it is that everybody has an opinion. Like, you have your opinion about what we should serve. And then another person. I just find it funny how everybody's a fucking genius. Like, everybody. And because your opinion of what we should do is different than this guy's. And this guy is this guy's. We can't serve 40,000 different fucking things.
Oh, no. And then again, that's the other thing. A streamlined menu. Hot dog, a burger. Like, you should have hot food and cold food separated, because I think the hot food process there is a thing where you really get the monkey wrench thrown into things. I think it's a separation of things, because bag like taco in a bag and chips, like, that's fucking 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes. Fucking just here you go. Anything that has to be prepared, you go over there. That's your fucking kiosk. Keep us fucking beer drinkers, peanut eating beer drinkers out of here. I'm not there for hot food. Even fries. I don't fucking get it why people order fries at a fucking baseball game.
quite funny you said that about you go here, you go there if you want this, because that's what we're doing already. Is that if you want this burger, you go over there. If you want this, you go over here. You want just food in hand with a hot dog. See you later. You come over here. We're good. So there's 4 different concessions. And so what you mentioned there, it's actually what we're going to do this season. And one thing that we're doing, and your boy's on that brink where he gets a foul ball, he keeps it. Jasper's like,
Yeah.
He might chase a foul ball this year, or he might chase a girl in the stands this year. Who knows? You know what I mean? Like he's at that age.
He's not running into the parking lot anymore. But like, yeah, if it's coming to him, he'll make an effort. That's for sure.
What we're doing this year, because we used to give out candy bags for a fucking foul ball, because baseballs are expensive, $13-14 a piece.
So here's your 15 cents of candy.
So what we're doing is actually Cavendish French fries, because we get 80,000 bags of French fries for free. Is we decided for every foul ball you return, here's a bag of fries. That's
a good idea.
Those silver packages. Here's some fries. Here you go. Here's some fries. Done.
That's way better than a bag of candy.
$13 baseball or a bag of fries or a bag of candy.
How about a bag of candy and a ticket to the next game?
Whoa. We're not giving the world away.
Because it's only kids, right? Because then you got a parent that has to buy a ticket.
Yeah, it's a lot more to it than that anyways.
Fuck. Empty seats don't buy beer.
Well, this is true.
But I'm not running it. I'm not there. All I'm here is
moral support.
Moral support, and maybe to fucking keep you honest on this side here. I'll tell you what's real.
What else, Dave? Jesus.
Well, it's the May long weekend. We had a long weekend here in Canada for all our American friends. I believe it's Memorial Day coming up.
Yeah.
The wife and boy are going down to the great state of Montana, not Whitefish, Great Falls.
Great Falls, Montana.
And I'm going to stay home because there's really it's not that great a city. It's just a city in Montana. Have you ever had, you know what? I've never spent a night there as an adult.
No.
As a kid, we were always there, but
there was this, soccer, I can't remember what the place was called. It's a motel. It's actually a motor inn, where there's a lounge downstairs where they have this fucking pool with plexiglass downstairs in this pool, and there's a lounge, and there's fucking people in mermaids that come down. I can't remember the name of the fucking place, the Callahan or
that must have been a long time ago.
No,
you're not.
No, Dave, honest to God. It was like 4 or 5 years ago, going to Vegas because you get the Allegiant Air to Vegas for like $80. Honest to God. So
how much? Okay, go ahead.
So there was there's this lounge downstairs, and they serve those fishbowl drinks, like fucking with all the Tropicana, whatever, and fucking there's these girls who work at the hotel. And they dive down in mermaid suits and they wave to the fucking people sitting at the bar. I'm not making this up. This is not a new thing. I'm telling you, I'm like.
So it's not choreographed or set to music, and it's just like mermaids instead of goldfish, like in an aquarium. It's a pool. Google it right now. If you Google Great Falls Mermaid Aquarium, it will come up. And the hotel, the Callahan, the Mermahan, the something. And there's this little old lady who plays the organ in the back. And she fucking sings. It's terrible. And she has CDs she sells. I'm not making this, like, even Dave, I'm a storyteller. I can't make this up. The Sip and Dip. The Sip and Dip. That's right. The Sip and Dip. Like who goes there? It's called the O'Hare Inn. The O'Hare Inn. Yeah, the O'Hare Inn. And then the O'Hare Inn, actually, they give you
when you check out, because most people are going to Vegas, who stay at the O'Hare Inn, they give you a rubber ducky, and they urge you to take pictures of where you go, and so you can tag the O'Hare Inn on the fucking thing.
Well, that's a good gig. It's a tiki bar, and it looks just kitschy enough to really rub me the right way. Like, but it's
like
ridiculous.
$3 beers and $5 fucking whatever the hell's those fish bowls.
The legendary Sip and Dip Tiki Lounge,
O'Hare Inn,
named the #1 bar on earth worth flying for by GQ magazine. I'm just reading what the O'Hare.
I'm telling you, it's fantastic.
Well, I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna actually copy and paste this and give it to all the parents.
The O'Hare Inn.
Because
Room
I'm
for
not
clean,
going.
beers are cheap. There's another bar across the street for to have a good time. It's great.
And mermaids.
You don't see it every day in here in southern Alberta. You got to go down. I'm telling you, it's fantastic. You've never heard of that? Seriously?
Not once, but I don't like. I've had no reason to stay in Great Falls for years on end. Like, I can't remember the last time I spent a night in Great Falls. It was for soccer, and I was probably about grade 8 or 9, maybe.
Oh man, the Sip and Dip, the O'Hare.
Because in soccer, most of 90% of my tournaments for soccer were in Canada. Mm-hmm. I'm finding with baseball, there's a lot more tournaments in the U.S. Like, I don't know the reason why, but maybe it's just I just don't know the reason why. But I'm finding myself for kids sports in U.S. a lot more than I ever had to when I was playing soccer back in the day.
Oh, the O'Hare and the Sip and Dip. And then there was a little old lady who fucking played the organ in the back, and it's completely out, and she sold CDs. And and this was like 7 years ago when CDs aren't even a thing anymore. It's like, so you can buy one. It was like $7 or $8, whatever it was. All right, good enough.
Oh, like, was it like a Will Ferrell Saturday Night Live skit when they would do?
No, she meant to fucking sing good. Like, she do Sweet Caroline in her own rendition of it.
Yeah,
it's like, all right, here's $7, whatever. Like, never played it.
Did she take requests? Like, did you?
Oh yeah.
What'd you request?
Oh, I never did.
No, like, I would have to challenge her.
You would have jumped in playing Jump, Van Halen Jump, like you used to play the 4 o'clock curling rink back in the day.
I can still play 2 songs on the piano, and I can play Jump, and I can play Chariots of Fire. That's quite the 2 songs that a fella can play since the age of 16.
Man in Motion.
Man in Motion, like that Jack Parr song, or
John Parr,
Jack Parr.
Yeah. Same guy. It doesn't matter.
Man, St. Elmo's Fire.
Anyway, Dave, we are on Thursday night. It'll be show 400 for us, man.
That's getting up there. We should.
Damn.
I don't know how you celebrate 400. Do we celebrate 400? Or we just
we'll celebrate.
It's just one more day. We'll figure out. Like, we've been busy, guys. It's odd, right? Like, you get a long weekend, and back in the day, you do nothing, but then, like, back busy. The kid my son is now 14 years old, studying for his learner's permit. We're going to have to get him behind the wheel so he can get me back and forth from maybe Yankee. We can start doing them face-to-face at Yankees. He can.
There you go.
It's not far from Atso to your house. He can drive that part by himself.
Oh, it's 32 seconds, yeah.
Yeah, and then he can pick me up, and we'll go home. We'll record while he's at ball practice.
That's a very good idea, actually. We should figure something out, though. Make a game plan to do something at Spitz. That'd be fun.
Okay. No, I agree. We had it in pencil there, but then rain.
Things are going sideways. Rain.
Yeah, it was in chalk, and the rain took care of it. Yeah. That's the one good thing about chalk. A little bit of water, and then you don't even know what you have.
I think it's mushy, though, right?
It doesn't get mushy. Chalk, I guess it gets.
If for those who listen to the podcast, me and Dave are have our hands like angry beetle.
Wiggling figures is to mean messy.
No, Dave, it's good to get back in the air with you tonight, and we'll figure it out for show number 400 on Thursday night.
400 is coming up. It seems like it's just been 10, but it took us a while to get back together. I'm glad we're face to face, and we made her happen. That's what we're here for, making it happen. Oh, I do want to do a shout out to our friends John and Dave over at
Level the Playing Field.
Level the Playing Field. I listened to them today. I think Dave was listening to us because he was talking about how with his son's baseball team, they let everybody know who made the team by email because they're cowards. We covered that a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Do it face to face. And Dave, sorry, that fucker just can't cheer for a winner. His beloved Arsenal finished second in the Premier League, and soccer is one of his sports. So Dave, I agree with you. Coaches should have to tell kids they're cut to their face. Don't leave that up to the mom and dad. And Dave, fuck, you got a good coach now with your San Diego Superchargers. I guess LA Superchargers. But the Gunners came up short. So better luck next year.
There we go. Jim, fan of the van, your package is in the mail actually today. You getting your shirts. You repping the Bulls around Long Island and everything else. So, Dave, fun show tonight. A lot of fun. We'll do show 400 on Thursday night. The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 Beer Sports, talking a whole lot more. Take care of each other. More important, take care of yourselves. Need you around. You sticking the ice somewhere else, Dave?
I don't want to see Jim swing at high pitches. And Garrett, enjoy the Savannah Bananas. I heard you were going to that too.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Let's see. When's he going?
I don't know. I just know he's going soon. So, I don't know.
Well, let's find out and get him on to talk about Savannah Bananas.
Let's make some calls and see if we can have a collaborative effort with everybody. Oh, and the boys at North Idaho College, since they've been on, they haven't lost.
There we go. Keep sucking shit.
Keep sucking shit, boys. The weekend just in the River Mere, they were in their conference tournament. I do not have word of how they did, but
they suck shit.
As long as they suck shit, I think we'll have new. Once we know how much shit they sucked, we'll definitely let you guys know how North Idaho College
shit.
Sucks shit. You shit
suckers.
sucking. Yeah, there's people that make a living sucking shit.
Yeah, hydrovac.
Yeah, honey bucket cleaners.
The honey bucket. The 1420 Sport Podcast. 4 Beer Sports, talking a whole lot more. Have a good night, folks. We'll talk to you. Show 400 coming up on Thursday night.
Let the banners fly and the bells ring. Have a good night, everybody.
Suck shit.
Suck shit.